Hi, welcome to another Financials in 5. Today we're going to talk about real estate credits. Real estate credit has had a stellar performance over the last year, and spreads have now stabilized. Also, if we think about the rest of the market, new issuance activity has been quite decent since the beginning of the year. So today we have Tolu Alamutu, Senior Credit Analyst for Real Estate here at Bloomberg Intelligence. Tolu, I must ask you, will we see real estate hybrids coming back to the market?
Well, thank you, first of all, Renato. I guess it feels like it's only a matter of time before we see that, right? I mean, we, as you said, have seen spreads recover quite significantly over the last few months. Real estate was the star performer in Europe in 2023. But hybrid issuance has really, really lagged. So last year, for instance, the only issue that we had was, or benchmark size issue we had was from URW, and that was related to an exchange offer. But since that time, we've had quite a few senior bond deals from URW itself, from Vonovia, from others, and also a few issuers have even placed equity. So the hybrids, which are obviously in between senior and equity, haven't yet reappeared, I guess, in the primary market. But it seems like it's only a matter of time before one or more issuers kind of braves that market and decides to place a hybrid, and we see an uptick in issuance. So yes, I think it's definitely possible that we see activity come back.
Sure. No, it sounds right. The other thing as well is like there is dispersion in the sector, not only in terms of spreads, but we've seen even in terms of behaviors when addressing hybrid calls, when even addressing coupons these days. And you quite illustrated that capital raising can take various shapes and forms. How do you see that differentiation materializing in primary market activity?
Right. So I think that the differentiation that we've seen in terms of how issuers treat upcoming calls and coupons will probably continue. So, just as examples of that, last year you had two issuers that had calls that I'm going to compare. So URW, I already said, they did this exchange offer, but there was another issuer around town that decided not to call, but also not to do any sort of liability management around the hybrid. This year, you've had issuers like SBB say they may not pay coupons on the hybrids, and then another issuer called Heimstaden AB saying that the next coupon on its hybrid will be deferred. But then there are other issuers that have basically gone over and above, I guess, what people would have anticipated, and they have called securities at the first call date and have continued to pay coupons. So there's little to suggest that that differentiation is going away. I think it will persist. So in terms of the way that issuers will deal with calls, we might see more liability management, like exchange offers and so on. We might see individual transactions with investors, like we've seen for some issuers. We might see new deals. And we might see equity issuance as well to replace the hybrids that are being called. So I think there's a plethora of options available to the issuers, and we'll see all of those that we've seen in the past, and maybe some new options coming up as well.
Sure. No, it looks quite interesting, quite an interesting space. There's a lot to think through. Tolu, thank you very much for your time. We'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Renato.